This is a reflection on the article about growing your own food. Even though people are broke, they're actually wasting 68 kilos of food a year. That's 1.3 billion tons of food wasted, creating a kind of 8% of food emissions. What does that mean? It means that people are going to the shops and going to the supermarkets and overestimating how much food they're going to eat. And that's what happens when you have a trolley shop. You just fill your trolley, and our portion sizes are out of control. I mean, obesity is an epidemic right now. So people are doing less exercise. So the idea of growing your own food gives you that sense of freedom to go out into your garden, pick your veggies, and pick exactly what you need for your meal. You're not going to pick vegetables that are for the next day or the next day or the next day. You pick them for that meal, right? And it shows that people who grow their own food eat 6 portions as opposed to 5 portions or 6 portions of their daily food allowance. Probably more, actually. I mean, I'd say 70% of your food that you grow, I mean, not 70%, but of your meals, 70% of the food on your table is what you've grown. I know people who grow food, and that's what they have. But there is a renewed interest in gardening, but it seems that like the availability of land is an issue with development and houses and urbanisation and population. For example, 10% of land in a city the size of Sheffield, 10% of the land in Sheffield could be used to feed 15% of the whole city. Only 10% of the land. When people grow food, they totally reduce waste. And when you grow your food, you're less likely to waste it. Like I said, you know, you're making dinner or lunch or whatever you're making for that meal and not holding on to it for the next day and the next day, which I think's... Houses that grow their own food produce 50% of their vegetables and 20% of fruit annually of what they need, which I think is amazing. There are hindrances to people growing their own food, like time, skills, self-confidence, land, and 1 in 8 people lack access to a garden. And there's also a thing called food deserts, which in a lot of low-waged areas, there isn't actually access to a lot of fresh foods. Massive amounts of takeaways and processed foods, creating a cycle of, like I said before, obesity, but, you know, creating a cycle of dopamine, fat, sugar, salt releasing in the brain, creating a full sense of happiness, which is affecting people's diet. So they don't eat vegetables and they choose not to. They eat high processed foods, and that's what food deserts create. They create this kind of lack of availability of food, and therefore there's a massive gap in education. I mean, really, that is my conclusion. I mean, growing your own food brings people together. Community assisted agricultural projects that are happening in Ireland are the rotation of time. People don't have time to grow food but can share land and grow vegetables and feed their families. Sense of well-being creates biodiversity. I mean, I personally don't mow my front garden because I want the bees to be inhabiting it, and the problem with that is it looks rough, but actually that's the reason why. All the yellow ragwort flowers, the dandelions, they're all there to create a place where bees can come. Healthy mind, healthy body, eating more veggies reduces you know, the obesity levels, really, because you're eating much healthier fresh vegetables and fruit, and saves you money. I mean, what's there not to love about growing your own food, really? Anyway, I hope that's not too rambling.